So I need to make pasta for dinner tonight, and I got this pasta machine, I think it was near the beginning of this year. No, it was last year at some point. And Facebook is a great and horrible thing because I found this on Facebook. It was one of the advertisements and I fell in love with it. And then just like the sous vide, I saw the price and I was like, maybe I don't love it so much. So I checked eBay and I found one on eBay. These are normally $300 to $400. And I found this one on eBay for $80 with free shipping, brand new. So I was thrilled and I jumped on it. And I was kind of worried if the boys would like the pasta. I'd never had fresh pasta before and I didn't know how they would react to it either. And they loved it. So I normally make a couple of batches when I make it because you can freeze it. So I've got my sheet pan ready, so when it comes out I can just make layers. So what I don't use tonight I'll end up freezing. So I use semolina flour and all-purpose flour. I get my semolina flour from Amazon. I can buy it in bulk there and it's actually cheaper. So what I normally do is I take about a half a cup of all-purpose flour and then I fill the rest of it with semolina flour. And eventually I'm going to get something or somebody to hold the camera for me while I do this, and then it'll make it a lot easier. Then you'll be able to see more and it'll be a better quality video, at least I hope. Now with this I do level it out, so maybe this can hold it for me. And I take, this came with it, I use it to help level it out. I used to use this one to help me cut the pasta, but when I ordered some of the attachments later, those came with this. So I use this to cut the pasta now. So all you do, and this is the most awesome machine, so I'm going to use 2 cups of this. So you just pour it in here. Here's the inside of the machine. And so now all I'm going to use is semolina. I only use that half a cup of all-purpose flour, and that's the only time I use all-purpose in there. And it's just that half a cup, and then all the rest is semolina, if I can speak. And my oldest loved this so much. I teach, and I teach at the same school he goes to. He told his science teacher one day that he wanted pasta for dinner that night, and I happened to be on my planning period and she texted me. So I came down and saw him while I was in class and told him we would have pasta that night because he loves it, which he's on the autism spectrum. He has Asperger's, but they don't classify it Asperger's anymore. So taste and texture sometimes are an issue for him, but he's very high functioning. But I was thrilled to death when he would actually eat homemade pasta. And that's how I started a lot of homemade stuff, was when he was diagnosed with Asperger's, because they put a lot of chemicals and such in our food. So I started making more food, eliminating dyes and such from his diet, and I could tell a huge difference, and he's come such a long ways. People can't really tell that he has Asperger's unless I tell them, so I'm very grateful for that. So now I'm going to get the wet ingredients together. So let's see if I can still open an egg with one hand. These are from the farm, so they don't open as well sometimes as the non-farm ones, and I don't understand why. I'm just going to wipe off my hand a little bit. And since I'm making a double batch, and I will do that twice, so this is the side they have it marked for just water. I don't know if you can see that. And this is the side if you're gonna do water and an egg. So you have two options. So I'm using an egg and I'm doing a double batch basically. So I fill to that line and I break my egg and swirl it around a little bit and mix it up. Sorry. And then it's already plugged in. So I put this lid on. I turn it on and you can choose one batch or two. So I'm doing two. So that one's highlighted. And you start it and it starts mixing it, and then you add your liquid. So, and you just add it right in these holes here, slowly. You don't want to do it too fast, it'll come back out and make a mess. I wonder how I know that. And it's tempting, and I've done it before, because it will seem like it's not very wet and not going to mix together, and maybe you should add more water. At least that's what I told myself, but don't. They have those measurements for a reason. So as long as you follow the measurements, you're good. And this will start mixing, and here in a minute or two we will have pasta start coming out these holes. This is the linguine. Alex, which is my oldest, likes that the best. I like the spaghetti better, but it's not that big of a deal to me like it is him. So I do the linguine, and I make extra, and this is super fast. This takes less than 15 minutes to do this batch, and then I'll do another batch. So 30 minutes, and the pasta lasts me a few months, and it keeps in the freezer no problem at all. Every once in a while, I'll open it and scrape down the sides. So as soon as you take this off, which you can pause the machine as well, I don't normally, but as soon as you take that off, it stops automatically. So you can't get your hands crushed or in the gears. And then, there we go. And it starts back up as soon as you put the lid back on, unless you pause it, then you would have to unpause it. But this is really handy. So normally I'll make a bunch on the weekends or in the summer. That way during the week when I'm teaching and at school, I can just grab them out of the freezer and go. And you can hear my dog. She's barking. She's wanting blueberries. So that's her treat. So she sits by the refrigerator and barks, wanting blueberries. So I guess we'll give her some blueberries. She's my baby. She's the only girl that I have, so. And you can see, well, it paused there for a second, but as it's turning, it looks kind of crumbly. It doesn't look real wet, but you don't want it too wet because then the noodles all stick together and it makes a mess. But here it comes, it's strutting out. The first little bit is drier, but they're still fine. There's nothing wrong with it. You can hear she wants more blueberries, but she'll be fine for now. I'm gonna pause it so I can cut it and maybe hold this at the same time. But here you can see all the noodles, and then I just cut these off like here. Normally I have my hand underneath, and I just put them in a pile, and then I'll have individual piles, and then I'll start a second layer when I run out of room with those, or I'll get another cookie sheet and put them on that. So that's how this works. It's great. If you let it sit about 15 minutes, you can have fresh pasta from that, which I'll keep some out for tonight. And the rest, I'll put in the freezer. If they're frozen, it takes about 5 minutes to cook. If they're fresh like this, it'll take about 4 minutes. So quick and easy dinner, and it's healthy. You know what's in it. Great machine. I'm telling you, eBay, Amazon, if you look for things used, Facebook Marketplace, because I'm a single mom. I don't have an infinite amount of money, so I have to watch what I spend, but I make sure if I do spend it, I use it. And I use this. This is one of my favorite kitchen gadgets, and I have many, but I use this one a lot. And it's just so comforting, something about the pasta coming out of the machine. So my dog is wanting more blueberries, so I'm going to give her a couple more blueberries, and then I'm going to finish my pasta making so I can have some in the freezer, because school is starting back in some way or another here soon. Hope you guys have a great Sunday.